Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to use some of our subject guides for use in communication classes, help you with your research, find articles, and a bunch of other stuff as well. So if you go to the main page of the website, you can see that there are these 4 boxes. You're doing research, so the first button you want to click on is this research button, and you'll be given these options. You can go right to the database if you already know which database you want to use, and the library has over 100, so it can be a little overwhelming. So the subject research guides is a place to kind of narrow your focus to just communication ones, and so we'll look at that. So these are broad subjects, and these are all can be useful for your classes. And essentially what these do is tell you which library databases and resources are in that subject. So we care about communication. So here's communication. This essentially what we call a subject guide or lib guide, that's the library name for it, breaks it down into different material types. So if you want to find a book, a video, etc., these are the places to look. So you'll look here, and this is for looking for articles. You'll notice I put Google Scholar up here. Google Scholar is sort of a good place that searches a lot of different areas and databases. It can be a nice shortcut. The only downside to that is it searches so many different fields, it can be sometimes hard to zero in and focus. And then down here you'll see I've got 3 tabs: communication databases, communication related, and popular mass media. And essentially the difference between these is this first one, these are all our databases that have to do with the communication field and are mostly peer-reviewed academic journals. That means someone in an institution of higher education wrote the article, and other people in that field looked at it and said, yes, this research, this article is valid. And for most of the assignments you'll be doing, you'll need to find articles from these types of databases. Communication related are sometimes in communication fall into other categories like psychology, health, etc. So that's what these are essentially. Other databases that may have some relevance to some of your research, so you can check out those individually. And then popular mass media, these are everything else. So it's newspaper articles, popular magazines like Time and Newsweek, Wall Street Journal. So we'll just look at the communication databases. These are all links just to places that are also linked from the library database list, but it will take you somewhere else. So let's just look at communication of mass media complete. This is a separate database, so it looks a little different than other databases you used, but it does have some similarities to Discovery. And you've got many fields and lots of options. And in that other video on Discovery search, there was some talk about how to use these fields, so I won't go into that. But now, just to show you what it looks like, I'm going to do a basic search for, let's just do women's health. Let's try that. That's a pretty broad topic. So not too bad, 666. Now if you did a search like this in Google Scholar or in Discovery Search, our other big database, you'd probably get a lot more, but because this is just communication, it's keeping your results within a series of communication journals. And you'll notice right away there's lots of academic journal articles, so that's good. But if it was a lot of non-academic journals, you could go over here and limit it to just scholarly peer-reviewed, so let's just do that. And you'll also notice over here in the filters column over here, there's the publication date range is from 1939, and maybe you don't want those articles, so let's just get something from the last 10 years, 2008. And you'll notice our results go down to 324. So that is a lot more manageable. But you could even reduce and filter even more by subject. So there's other more narrow topics. But just to show you what this is like, you can click on the article, sort of get a description. Here's the abstract, and you can quickly read this and say, oh, this is useful, or no. And then over on the left column here, you'll see you can read the full text. And so here's the article. And one thing I'll point out, once you start, if you're not familiar or haven't read academic writing before, they all sort of have a different format, but pretty much every academic article has, you'll start to see patterns on how they're written and the structure. And one of the things that's really useful for you as you're doing your research is usually at the end of all academic articles, they have to cite their sources and where all the claims that they made in the article. So if they say women are discriminated against in healthcare or something like that, they have to back that up with some kind of other source. So that's what all these are, and they refer to these. But these are also good for finding other articles that are related. So if you're having a hard time, you find one article, you can look at these to sort of say, oh, this one looks good, or oh, I like this one, and you can look it up and find it. You may think that we have access to every single journal out there, but we don't. So sometimes you might say, okay, I want this Introduction Consumerism in Healthcare article in the journal Consuming Health, the Commodification of Healthcare. We may or may not have that. If we don't, you can use something called interlibrary loan, and another library that subscribes to that, we can get it to you. And if it's an article, generally it gets digitized. You can get it within a day or so. If it's a physical book or a video or film or something, you can still get it. It will just be physically shipped here, and it'll take a little longer. One other communication database that I wanted to mention is Oxford Bibliographies. These are really great if you don't know what you want to research, what your topic is, because essentially this is experts in the field have gotten together and given summaries of a particular topic. What's the research like? What are the seminal articles or key books about that topic? And it's a good way to get ideas if you have nothing. So you'll notice there's lots and lots, there's multiple pages of different broad topics. So say you were interested in family communication. You could say, okay, what is this? What is family communication? And these are all written by experts in the field. They're from institutions of higher education, and they're in the communication field. So they write an introduction. They say, here are the core texts. Here are the people who kind of wrote about this topic. Here are the actual books or articles. And so these are great places to start to sort of see if that's something you want to look into. And the rest of the Lib Guide, just to give you an overview, this is where to find books. This is Discovery, which you've already seen a video on that. The 5 College Catalog, which is a much more narrow, and that's mostly, you'll see here, books, ebooks, reference books, videos. It doesn't have database articles. So if you need to find database articles, don't go to the 5 College Library Catalog. And you should know that you can take out materials from any of the 5 colleges, either by physically going there or by requesting it. It can be sent here to campus to be picked up. Films and videos, we have several streaming video sites, film and video sites, and these contain lots and lots of great films. Canopy is probably the most popular one, and this is available to you on or off campus and even when you're not in school. So you may find lots of things there that you want to watch, not for class, but just for fun, and you can do that. And then there's the Films on Demand and DocuSeek, which are very similar to Canopy. And then this last tab that I'll show you, this general information, this is more if you're looking for sort of general information about certain topics. You can start here. You notice I've got Wikipedia. I'm not anti-Wikipedia. If you are looking to find generally about a topic you know nothing about, Wikipedia is a great start. But once you start to get the terminology and the names and places from Wikipedia, you should then go elsewhere. Okay, thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, make sure to ask me in our class.